The Ethereum Foundation had also spoken very highly of ZK.
It's bullshit. Everyone is gonna know that's bullshit.
Where is your data?
Yeah.
Where's your data? I don't think I've ever felt that something's completely impossible. Founders can't complain that much, there's something to complain about. Show me your bank statements then.
We've been building for so long and we're not yet there.
At this point, I pivot better than I breathe.
Pretty in privacy.
Hello. Welcome to the Pretty in Privacy podcast. I'm here with Kashvi today, and I would love to have an amazing conversation about privacy, Web3, marketing, and lots of fun things. Kashvi, nice to see you.
Thank you for having me here. It's so nice to see you as well.
How are you?
Very, very excited to be on Pretty in Privacy.
Yay.
Yes, I'm doing good. It's a good week in New York. The weather is good. The Knicks are winning. All my friends are in the city.
Oh, that's
What a
the
time
best
to be
part.
alive.
The weather is like perfect. It's not too hot, but it's sunny. So cool.
So good.
So tell us about yourself. Like, what is the most interesting thing about Kashvi that people should know?
I'm not a very interesting person. That is what you should know. I'm a very boring person. I have very boring beliefs and I work in a very, very boring way. So I'm not very interesting, and that's what you should know about me. But I love what I do and I like to do it in the best way possible, even if it's not always the most interesting way to do things. So that's what you should know about me.
Cool. How long are you in Web3?
It's been 5 years,
Wow.
5.5 maybe.
That's pretty much, way more than most Web3 community folks.
Yeah, I think each year in crypto is equivalent to like 3 in the real world. That's how much I would say. So it almost feels like I've been here almost 2 decades.
So I wonder, what is your take on Web3 privacy overall? Is it important? Are we just talking bullshit here? Or what the hell is going on?
I think that this is important, even though there are a lot of people talking bullshit and both of those are coexisting.
Mhm.
And I can explain why. Privacy is something that's been around for a very long time in crypto. It's been something that Ethereum has talked about since like it was basically founded, right? But only in the last year and a half has privacy become a narrative. And, where liquidity flows, attention goes, and the other way around. So now that there's people actively investing in privacy and actively building solutions because they know that this is what it's going to take to get institutional adoption on chain. So now it's like the hot topic, but it's always been there. And I personally think privacy in Web3 is super important. It's a core element of mainstream adoption, not just institutional.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I work in it, and that's my thesis.
Yep. Institutional adoption. We'll talk about
We'll
that
talk
later.
about that. Yeah.
Because I feel like the more Web3 conferences I attend this year, the more Web2 it becomes and TradFi. And
Well,
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, I like it, but I'm also just like, we can't be completely institutional. We have to have our originality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So ZK, I feel like you're one of few people who made people really care about ZK technology. No, seriously. Like the way you communicated in your campaigns, the way your content looked like, it all like really pushed people to figure out what the hell ZK is. And like,
I'm so glad.
how do you feel about it? Does it make you feel like, wow, that's crazy? Like this is one of the most complicated tags and I'm like marketing it. How do you feel?
I feel it, honestly, it is an honor to work on marketing something like ZK because it's such a foundational piece of tech. And I understood nothing about it the first time
I know that few.
I was just like, Z what? Like what? What is happening? What is zero knowledge? I had zero knowledge about zero knowledge. I would feel stupid when I read existing material, and I would feel like, okay, maybe this is too technical for me. But once I persevered and once I started talking to people about it, that's when the light bulb moment happened that, okay, this is something that every blockchain's roadmap is going to need ZK. And I would be insane to not work on it. And I would be insane to not build a narrative around this. We also did it with our ex-head of marketing, Rekha. She had ideas on, using analogies to talk about ZK, and those seem to resonate. But yeah, when I think about it, I'm like, when I don't think that I made it popular, I think it was always a thing, and a lot of factors came in to increase its mind share. But when I hear from you, it makes me very happy to think that, okay, you did learn about ZK through some of the material I posted.
Yep.
And I think my favorite campaign that we did was the whitepaper campaign, because for me, that was inspired by my love for reading on Substack and reading on Kindles. I love the ability to highlight things. So the fact that we launched an interactive white paper reader where you could highlight and post on Twitter, and some of the industry's biggest leaders reshared that. So moments like that make me very happy and very proud to have worked on this.
Yeah.
And it's a work in progress.
For sure. But I mean, Zcash existed since I remember, and still not too many people cared. Even like today, when I check Zcash transactions, it's probably less than like 10K transactions a day. I might be wrong, but I feel like somewhat around those numbers. So there is not too much going on in the community still, but like the amount of content from your team about like ZK and all the use cases that it enables, actually, I feel like made people care. Yeah, so
I'm so glad to hear that, because I do believe Boundless was very early to talking about it. We see a lot of privacy projects now, and I think Phoenix is doing such a great job with the marketing as well. Shout out to Radhika.
Shout out to Rads.
But yeah, I definitely think we were some of the first movers to make it like sweet and mainstream and fun to talk about. And yeah, we did a lot of different things to make that happen.
Cool. How did you land at Boundless? Was there like any moment where you thought, oh, that's what I'm going to work on?
I had started following the team on Twitter, and then I met them at DevCon in Bangkok. And like in person, it's just so much better to gauge energy than it is online. Like, I don't think I would ever join a company now by just like hearing about them online. Like, I want to spend time going to their events, hanging out with them, really learning more about their values. And to be honest, more than the tech, I betted on how passionate the team was about the tech. Because I'm not technical. Like, I cannot look at like ZKs and TEs and be like, okay, which one is better? I don't know. I'm like, I really don't know. But when I see how passionate the founders were about this, I was like, okay, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to be building in. And obviously the fact that, the Ethereum Foundation had also spoken very highly of ZK was a big reason why I wanted to join Boundless.
Cool. Yeah, I'm also a big believer of you cannot market, promote, even talk about things you don't like truly believe in, because it gives out like in every single word and campaign.
Yeah.
If like it's bullshit, everyone is gonna know that's bullshit. Like she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Like maybe not in the first few months, but like eventually people can tell.
Yeah.
They can tell, and you just want to be the most authentic version of yourself. Otherwise, you're the one who's going to be stressed out and irritated by the work you're doing. And that is something that I was very sure I did not want to do. I wanted to work with a team that loves what they do, that they're passionate about the tech, they treat people well. And to me, like, those are some of the most important things, because in our industry, it's very small. Relationships matter, and how you keep relationships warm, what you do for others, how you partner, all of that is important as well. So I actually took 8 reference checks of the people behind Boundless and Risk Zero before I decided to join them.
Wow.
So I asked a lot of people about them and their reputation.
Wow. It's actually a cool insight for me because I'm not sure I've ever did any due diligence on the companies.
I also have like severe commitment issues, which is why I was like, I wanted to be sure about who I was going to work with. And so far it's been okay.
Yeah, because usually it's like the other way around. Like people, companies check the people they ask, like referrals and stuff. We do not usually do that. Maybe it comes, from the imposter syndrome because I do have it a lot of times.
Yeah.
And especially when like you're in the interviewing process.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah. And you're like, wait, am I even good fit for this company? They seem like, real guys. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's so valid. And as women, I think we feel imposter syndrome a lot, but it has to somehow coexist with your own verification process on the side. Because when you're interviewing for a company, you should also be interviewing them.
Yeah.
And making sure it's a good fit both ways. Like, you might be an amazing fit for one startup, but they might not be a fit for you. Like maybe they want someone who's more data-driven in their approach, but you're a more creative person.
Yeah.
So you always want to make sure that there's a fit both ways. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for a lot of stress. I don't know if it's complete failure. I think failure is very harsh, but yes. I think you're on the road towards
failure in terms of like your expectations and like long-term vision, because you can be like super optimistic about it, but then once you like figure out, oh, that's actually not the way they operate and it doesn't fit me, you get like very frustrated and you either burn out or like quit without achieving like solid results.
Yeah.
So
it's true. Like you want to be in an environment that allows you to be the best version of yourself and to do your most creative work. And for that, you have to ask your employer questions. Like some of the questions that I asked is, okay, do you have in-house designers? What are the budgets looking like for this quarter? What are like the top 3 things that would be, on my priority list if I join? Just so that I know like what my exact day-to-day is going to look like. Yeah. So I asked a lot of questions.
What do you ask when you are interviewing people to hire them in your team? And are you hiring now? Because it's a tough market. Let's give people some
Look, we were hiring for a product marketing specialist role, but it is like on hold at the moment because we are sort of at an interesting time in the industry. And we will definitely still be hiring a PMM specialist, but we need to figure out a few things internally. But I think we will be hiring soon. I'm actually pretty positive we will be hiring soon. And when I'm hiring people, I think the number one question I like to ask is why they're applying for the role. Like, to me, it's very important to understand a person's personal motivation and professional motivation. Because I think your level of motivation dictates the quality of your work. And it has to match what we as an organization want. So just making sure that both parties are on the same page. Because again, some people can be super talented, but not the best fit for you.
Yeah.
But some people are not very talented, but they might be a good fit because you can teach them the skill. So it really depends on that. It's different for every role, but my main purpose with like a first interview is understanding the other person's motivation.
Yeah.
Like, what is your intention? Why Boundless?
That makes sense. Yeah. One of the debates I have with my crypto friends a lot, like very often, is whether a person has to be a marketer with like degree or like some Web2 marketing experience and non-crypto, or it's more important for them to be Web3 native. They might not be professional marketers, but they can learn fast and, gain new skills. What is your take on that?
Well, for Boundless specifically, I want Web2 marketers who are willing to get their hands dirty and understand Web3. I think skill is more important than experience, at least right now, because I can balance out the experience side, right? Like, I feel like we have enough crypto natives on the team. We need more like, Web2 players, because Web3 is a very small industry, and we tend to get caught up in our own practices and our own ways of doing things. I always want to bring on someone that I can learn additional things from, or someone who brings something to the table that me and my current team don't have. So, yeah, and I think a lot of people argue on the other side because they want people to think like them, and it's just similarity bias. Like, sure, you'll enjoy working, but are you getting the best result? Probably not.
Yeah, and then we end up with all the teams doing, like, following the same playbooks, doing the same campaigns, and asking, like, why can't we, cut through the noise? So yeah, I'm here with,
because you're not turning up the volume. You're not willing to listen when someone is pointing holes. And my favorite types of coworkers are the ones who, like, tear apart something I'm doing. Like, they'll give me the worst feedback possible, but what's important is that we really trust each other. So at the end of the day, it's never personal. It's just that you're striving to achieve the same goal, and as long as you're achieving that, it's completely okay. So whether you decide to do Web 2 or Web 3, it's fine. It should just be a person who's passionate, willing to accept feedback, can take on multiple things if needed. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. When you have to explain your job to non-crypto folks, what do you say?
I just say I work in tech. I say I work in tech. I do marketing for a tech B2B SaaS startup, and that's it. Yeah.
I say I work in Bitcoin.
Oh, nice.
That always works.
So I'm in New York, right? But my friends are in Mumbai. They went to a bar and they met a girl who literally said that, I work in Bitcoin. I was like, I'm pretty sure she doesn't work at Bitcoin, but if you guys... And then they said that my friend works in Ethereum, if you know. I was like, bro, I don't work in Ethereum. Like, I don't work for Ethereum. I work for... Well, we all
work for Ethereum. Yeah. I think the people who've been to a couple cycles stay optimistic now, but the newcomers...
It's getting hard to stay optimistic.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
I feel like we've seen worse times,
We've seen worse, but not $1,500 for 1 ETH worse.
Yeah, a little bit of backstory. I used to move all my BNB when I worked at Binance, and I was about to quit Binance, so I was like, I'll probably gonna move all my BNB to FTX. Was 2022.
Oh shit!
So yeah, and then one day I was just like trying to withdraw, and I was unable to. So I've definitely seen worse.
Okay, you've seen worse. I have not.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I actually love talking to marketers because I feel like this is a special vibe, because when you talk to engineers, they are so focused on the tech side that they are not really able to go out of that bubble. And then marketer has to be so diverse, know everything, be interested in everything they do.
Yes.
So I wonder, what is the most fascinating thing about ZK and Boundless specifically that you were like, wow, this is an aha moment for me?
The fact that we at Boundless could run a completely decentralized network of provers who have their own GPUs was the wow factor for me. Because you could be anywhere in the world, but as long as you have a GPU of some form, you could plug into Boundless and it would just work. That I think is so interesting to me, because there's a lot of people who missed out on Bitcoin mining and they were very late to that meta, but now they can use that same hardware and participate in ZK mining. So just that parallel to Bitcoin mining is something that I think is very special as well. Plus, the Boundless team is working on its own innovation called the Proof of Verifiable work. And the fact that they were innovating instead of accepting an existing model shows that, okay, this is a very tenacious team. And that's what made me, that's what made them stand out in my eyes. In general, regardless of crypto or not, Boundless works on the financialization of compute. And compute is tech's biggest bet as we know it. NVIDIA has built an empire around it. And regardless of whether crypto goes or not, regardless of whether crypto is a success or not, I know that Boundless is going to be okay. And that's because it's built on top of foundational infrastructure that just works. The entire team could log off tomorrow and the Boundless network would still continue to function because of how decentralized our provers are.
Mhm.
So to me, that's like amazing.
Huge. Yeah, that's huge. What is the biggest misconception people still have about ZK?
Oh, that it's expensive.
Really?
I think a lot of people still think
Yeah.
in crypto that zero knowledge is expensive to adopt, that it takes time,
Mhm.
that it's, not worth it. They don't have the budget for it. But ZK proofs are actually like very cheap and they're very fast now as well. Boundless provides over 400 trillion cycles of capacity. And I think the median cost is down to 3 cents
Mhm.
in 2026. So, I think that people think it's too expensive, but that's not. It's just an excuse.
Yeah. People also think the same way about FHE still, that it's expensive and super slow, which like I'm already sick of
Bro.
convincing everyone like,
Where is your data?
yeah.
Where's your data?
Yeah, just ask ChatGPT at least. And what about the use cases that actually impressed you? Like you thought it would never be possible, but then like some of your design partners just shipped it.
I don't think I've ever felt that something's completely impossible. Because I've just been very logical about ZK. Like if I thought it was impossible, I probably wouldn't have worked on it. So a lot of the use cases that we see now and the partnerships that we have live are a reflection of that. We currently have a Boundless verifier live on Stellar, which is great, and it has a lot of adoption from their builders. We recently also partnered with XRPL Commons to bring ZK to XRPL, which is also a really big one because like the RippleX community is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And the fact that we get to play a part in their ecosystem is just really, really cool. Recently at Paris Blockchain Week in February, around 30% of the participants in their hackathon, 1/3, so 33% of the participants in their hackathon used the Boundless DevNet toolkit that we did with XRPL. So nothing has felt impossible. It's all doable.
Cool.
All within our reach.
Cool. We also actually face a lot of situations when like some builders have an idea, they reach out to us, say like, we want to do it with FHE. And our DevRel like openly tells them, you don't need FHE for this, just go with
Good,
ZK.
yeah.
Like, and I feel like it's so important to be
Have
building,
transparency.
yeah, and be building something that like people will actually use. Users actually need it. Whether it's like with ZK, FHE, doesn't matter. Like I know we're like technically competitors, but
No, we're not.
I mean ZK and FHE.
Oh, ZK and
there's
FHE, yes.
this
Okay.
word that's ongoing.
We're not that consumer facing though. So that's the thing. Like similar tech, but different audiences.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like so many teams and builders are solving the problems that like never actually existed. How do you manage this like expectation versus reality with like teams that want to partner with you, collab, build something, and like when you hear that the idea is just not worth it, like would you be transparent about it, or like, oh, it's still a good marketing, so let's go for it?
No, I think it's just good to be transparent. Like you'd rather just save your time, energy, and resources and focus it into a better communication channel instead of going ahead with a campaign that is not going to bring you that ROI. Because like a failed campaign is a much worse look than no campaign. So it's okay to not post on the account for some time. It's okay if you're a little bit silent, but don't go ahead with something that you're not confident about. because we work in a very technical industry, and it really affects the brand's reputation if you do too much marketing without any tech to back it up.
Yeah.
So if the tech is not there yet, just hold off. It's okay. We're playing in decades. You don't have to have something coming out every week. And
what about founders that want an announcement? They want growth. They want...
Where's the product? You want the announcement? Give me something to talk about. And I'm very grateful for our leadership for that. They understand that marketing is a result of what engineering and product build together. So, if founders want a campaign every week, they need to make sure that the marketers have the budgets and access to technical resources to build those campaigns. Like, let's say AI agents is a big narrative right now. Your Phoenix's team needs to have like 2 product people and 1 engineer who's focused on the AI thing so that they can ship a feature, push it to GitHub, and then the marketers can talk about it. So without that process, founders can't complain that marketers have nothing to complain about. That's my take.
I do advise to lots of startups, mainly like teams that cannot afford like full stack marketer or like a team because they haven't fundraised yet. And there's like huge misconception from founders saying that like you can market stuff without having a product
that's
or like
scamming.
use case. They say like, and I usually prefer like stop working with those kind of people because they say like, we can like vibe code something that like will drive crazy traffic, etc., even though like our product is like far away in the future. How do you like change this kind of narrative in Web3 personally? Because I feel like it's a real problem of like Web3. Most teams think that way still.
So I will advise a middle ground here. So like, the expectation I think is not wrong from founders if they're willing to build in public. So if you're willing to be transparent with your audience about the fact that, hey, my product is not there yet, but here's what I'm doing in order to get there.
Yeah.
And if the founder is willing to be the focus of the content, then I think that's a good middle ground, because then the marketers can build a campaign around building in public or making the founder the face that like, okay, here's 5 things I did wrong today since I started my workday to bring my product to finality. So I think the middle ground is just authentic content and being honest about where you're at, because that's, I think, what resonates with people a lot more, instead of like a quest or a community giveaway. And I do think that if not Web3, it's important to build your distribution pre-launch. The advice that I would give is communicate and build timelines together on what has to go out when, and do your absolute best to stick to that timeline. Because when you're not on the same page about that, that's when things get complicated. And, delayed launches are normal. It happens in every industry. But like, then you need to come up with a newer thing to rebuild that distribution.
Yeah.
So founders should also deploy more empathy towards their marketers when it comes to that. And just like for founders, it's okay if your marketers are not posting on Twitter every week. Like the current market scenario, it's like there's not much to talk about now. We've talked enough for so many years. It's time to build, it's time to work. And all the content should be documenting that work. At least that's what I try to do at Boundless. We have fun for sure on the X account, but we also try to give as much proof possible to our builders about, here's a GitHub repo, here's the AI thing that we shipped last week, here's how you can participate. So it's less like fun now and more proof driven. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love that. There is like such a big conversation around team-led marketing, founder-led marketing, the founder funnel, how you like onboard people through your like founder profile. And on one hand, I see that working for many, many, many teams. Like even I feel like Vitalik, CZ from Binance, so many people who started doing that like 10 years ago. And on the other hand, do all founders and team have to actually be building in public, in your opinion? Like, is it a must as of today, or it's just the marketing team is trying to, trying to do some stuff with their founders so they have less work to do,
Look, it's definitely not a must, but I do think that if you're hiring marketers, you should be ready to commit to something like that. Like, okay, it might not be the main ingredient that moves the needle, but the way I see marketing is it's just spreading your surface area for luck. You never know what content resonates with who, which VC, which client, like your potential life-changing people that you could be introduced to will come through socials. And that means posting content, putting yourself out there a little bit. You don't need to talk about a day in your life and what you eat for breakfast, but you need to talk about, this is my product and here's why I think it's cool. So, most people think that founder-led marketing is like exposing your personal life, but it's really not that. It's just more about having your core values and communicating your core values to your marketers, and then trusting them to package that up in different ways, in different content formats across platforms. And I think for Web3, Twitter and LinkedIn are the most important.
LinkedIn as well?
LinkedIn, very much.
Wow.
I think like in the last month, I've spent more time on LinkedIn than Twitter.
Really?
For our founder, yeah.
Cool. I felt like recently there's so many jokes and hate on crypto Twitter about LinkedIn that I've never expected someone to highlight that social.
Because the thing with crypto Twitter is that it's very comfortable and I love it there. I love the friends that I've made through crypto Twitter, but we cannot build adoption by just staying in the same community.
Yeah.
We have to go to other communities, show them why ours is cool, and give, I feel like all crypto Twitter does is take. Everyone is just chasing the next airdrop or wants to ride on the same narrative, but nobody wants to give. Like, you need to build relationships with other industries if you want true adoption. And that's what I'm trying to do with our founders' LinkedIn and my own and everyone else on the team.
Cool. We also try to go beyond crypto Twitter at Phoenix, but we're currently focused on YouTube. We started Instagram and TikTok just for fun at this point.
Amazing.
And to engage with retail crowd. Wow. So we'll see how that goes.
Keep me updated. I'd be curious to know how that goes.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Regarding privacy aspect, was there any event or campaign or any personal situation that you faced that made you think that privacy is actually important, and not even from the technical perspective, disregard that you work at Boundless? Why is privacy important? What made you think so? And was there any situation specifically that made you think so?
I wouldn't say there was a situation per se, but if you look at every blockchain's roadmap, there is no way to achieve scale without privacy. It's a very core component to how crypto succeeds. And yes, there is an institutional case to be made for this, but let's just say even without the institutions, if we just want to scale, if we want to increase capacity on these chains, you need ZK, you need privacy. But you need to be able to, introduce that privacy component, and every major L1 and L2 needs privacy. So that was kind of I just see such a clear use case for it.
Yeah.
And then when we talk about the institutional side, there's this thing at Boundless that we're calling the transparency tax, which is that institutions who want to move on chain a lot of them don't realize that all their data is public. And, when you move money, we can tell
See you.
that you're moving money.
See ya.
We see who you're sending money to. And this is what keeps them from being on chain in the first place. So at Boundless, we work with some to, build custom privacy solutions. But, the privacy is the need of the hour for such clients. And crypto needs institutions right now. Stablecoin volume is mostly attributed to them right now, and it's only going to increase. And if crypto wants serious adoption, it has to suit up for TradFi.
Yeah, that's for sure. I actually think that at this point, there is no doubt that big players, institutional investors need privacy. There is more of a debate on the retail side, because when I go to events, conferences, when I'm on some podcasts or like interviews, and I yap about privacy, retail people challenge me saying like, I do not feel it on a daily. I do not feel that need. Like, I feel like you're pushing us onto it because like that's the tech you're selling.
Show me your bank statements then. Show me your passport.
Yeah.
What's your social security
No, post
number?
it on Twitter so
Please
all the
post it.
scammers can get.
Yeah. What's your credit card number? Can I know?
And see, I feel like that's so crazy that crypto has started.
Hey, what's your insurance policy?
Yeah, crypto has started.
How much do you pay every month?
Yeah, as something that's supposed to like change the finance, the way like economy operates, like actually fix all the issues that we have in TradFi. But now, like at this point, you cannot use crypto as money as like comfortably as you do that with cash, right? Mm-hmm. So it feels like we've been building for so long and we're not yet there just because of that thing, privacy. And it's crazy to me that people do not get it.
I think I empathize with them, like they just don't know that this is what they need. Like they just haven't learned about it. So that's where you and I come in, and that's our job and our responsibility to educate people about privacy and that it exists. Because even up until like 2 years ago, I didn't know that privacy and transparency can coexist. Like the idea of that is just so insane to me. Mm-hmm. And I forget that often because, when you work in ZK and privacy every day, you think, oh, this is obvious, but it's actually not obvious to the layman. And that's why what we do is so cool. So, yeah.
Is there any use case for Boundless that you've been trying to push your team to like ship it, at least like a fun demo, but it wasn't supported and like you still want to do it?
I would one day love to experiment what else can we do with compute. Because right now we funnel it to expand capacity for blockchains, but I wonder what else. So stay tuned.
Oh, that's cool. In terms of the narratives that recently worked overall in Web3 or for you specifically, what you would like to highlight? Because I hear that semi-often that Web3 is lacking narratives and metas recently. That's why we suck. What is your take?
I don't think we're lacking narratives and meta. I think we're just lacking innovation and adoption. And as a trickle-down effect of that, you see marketers struggling with narratives. Personally, at Boundless, I think we're good. We recently talked about proving, but for AI agents. So one of the recent features that we shipped on Boundless is that you can actually like Claude code your way into becoming a prover, even if you're completely non-technical. Like I can do it with just like a Claude Pro subscription. So I do think AI is a good narrative, like crypto X AI, but you can't just like slap AI on something that you're already doing. But yeah, there's plenty of narratives in the world if you're open enough to it. And I think it's easier for B2C crypto companies to ride on those waves. It's harder for B2B, but it's not impossible.
What is more important, narrative or tech, if you have to choose?
Tech.
Like,
Tech, any day tech.
okay, I'm challenging you. There is like plenty of teams that have the best tech, but their marketing sucks and they just can't make it.
Are they making money?
I would say not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Well, then
But they
just
have
need
like
to-
the best tech, the like craziest engineers. Like I've seen so many such teams.
Correct. But then they just need to hire the right marketers. If you have amazing marketers and bad tech,
Yeah.
that's a much worse combo than
For sure.
like good tech and a bad marketer. I think the marketer can always be replaced. The tech, on the other hand, cannot always be replaced.
Yeah. Let's talk about product market fit. So randomly, it wasn't on my agenda.
Let's
but
talk about it.
like how many teams from your experience died just because they did not figure out the PMF at the first place, but they still went so hard on the marketing side. They spent like thousands or millions of dollars.
Millions.
Yeah. And still they didn't make it just because of lack of PMF.
I think a lot of teams, especially a lot that were like popping in 2021, like you don't really see them around as much anymore. And I empathize with founders, but I think a lot of them also too get too caught up in their original vision. And your lack of PMF is a reflection of your lack of willingness to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
So, all of us have amazing ideas, and we think they're amazing, but if the market doesn't think the same way, you have to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no shame in doing that. We create a lot of stigma that, oh, now they're doing AI. Oh, now they're doing, whatever the next big thing is. But sometimes that's what you have to do in order to survive as a company.
Yeah, exactly.
And
pivoting is better than dying.
Yeah, I posted a tweet this morning, actually, that at this point, I pivot better than I breathe.
That's so good.
Because that's just how the market is right now. It's a survival strategy. And it's important to, be willing to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you find PMF. You try 100 times and one thing works.
Yeah, for sure. As a marketer, and you also previously mentioned that founders need to be more empathetic to marketers when they like tend to change plans a lot. But you also need to be flexible, like if your team wants to pivot from one tech to another. So where's this golden ratio between being flexible, but also like not being delusional that you can obviously promote whatever your founders tell you? Like, how do you balance this and do not, agree to promote the stuff that doesn't make sense to you anymore?
So my plans, the way I like to do things is in like every 3 months. So I feel like alignment checks for what we're going to communicate. What is our biggest focus? What are our biggest priorities? In crypto, realistically, it changes every 3 months. So you need to check in with the founder and the marketer, whoever your head of marketing is, that like, hey, this is what I think we should be talking about for the next 3 months. This is what social media is going to look like for the next 3 months. Here's the events our teams need to be at. And here are the panels at these events that they need to be at. So you need to be planning 3 months in advance and getting your founders' approval on it. I'm not saying give them a 3-month content calendar, but at least the main narrative points, the campaigns need to be pitched 3 months in advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because the content I think can be written the morning of you posting it. Like it's not that serious. I feel like the beauty of socials is that you can take your time.
Yeah, or you just see the trend and you hop on it.
Exactly. Yeah. But like the main messaging points need to be aligned on, and also just like the level of output and the goals, so that, anytime there is a conflict, because conflicts happen, you can revisit that 3-month plan and the founder will be like, hey, this is what we agreed on. or the marketer will be like, hey, this is what we agreed on.
Mhm.
So any deviation can always be traced back on paper. And I could be biased though, because I just love writing. For me, like having things written down or doing my own thought exercises on paper, journaling, like these are things that I think keep me good at what I do. And I like to instill that culture in my team as well.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah.
If you had a $1 million budget, what would be the privacy use case that you would like to push on retail crypto crowd at like instantly?
I don't know about retail, to be honest, because I don't spend enough time understanding what they want, but like the transparency tax and more awareness around that for institutions is what I would push. So I would not push the $1 million into doing like a B2C marketing campaign, but I would maybe do it to, you know, get all the top execs of every institution in one room over a course of a few days and get them to like, you know, align on why this is important and get their sign off on implementing privacy solutions.
Cool. I love that. There is a constant debate between the founders and marketers on like budget versus creativity. What beats what? And obviously with the AI development, you can do way more and more like creative things faster, and you can do it without like huge marketing team. What is your take? Does budget beat creativity?
I think it does. We work in tech. It's very expensive to come up with certain types of campaigns. You need skin in the game if you're going to compete with other people in the same industry. Like, let's say the creator campaign that you guys are doing, like you need a budget for being able to do things like that. So you can be creative with a budget, but it's super, super important that there is skin in the game. Otherwise, unless the founder is willing to be on the face of the brand every day and has time to do that, then it's a different story. But you do need money.
Yep.
if you want to be competitive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I so much agree. Cool. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and it was a pilot, so I do appreciate even more that...
Wait, this is a pilot?
Yeah.
You're like a professional. It feels like you've been doing this forever.
I am a professional journalist, though.
There you go.
Yeah.
I knew. I was just like, there's no way this woman hasn't interviewed people before.
Thank you. It was really lovely to meet you, and I hope we meet.
Likewise. I'm usually on your side of the things. Like, I'm usually the one asking questions.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool. Enjoy your stay in New York.
Thank you.
See you at the next crypto events.
Yes, 100%.